A lot of people, they're going to probably be listening to this and thinking, okay, well, this is all fun and well, but what about the legalities around this? We did see Senator Andrew Bragg from the Liberal Party go to the crypto conference over the weekend in Sydney. And where does this all stand? Why is Australia dragging its feet on it? Obviously, America is catching up as well.
Mm-hmm.
But people are looking for confidence, especially around legislation. Do you have any information with regards to where all that is?
It's really interesting to me when people look for the government for approval on what to invest in, yet they're anti-government.
Yeah, it is funny, isn't it?
It is very funny. I'm like, that's comical. Why do you want the government to tell you what is good and what isn't? And then you get the confidence to make an investment into alternative assets. I see Bitcoin similar to the way I see gold and silver. It can't be regulated, right? The asset itself cannot be regulated. What you can regulate, though, is the providers, right? Because we're an Australian business, and I'm not against regulation. I'm not saying that, I don't want to have any rules or whatever it is, but by its very nature, Bitcoin is a network similar to the internet, right? The internet is a network. You can't regulate the internet. You can regulate the service providers, you can regulate all of those kind of things, but you can't regulate the internet itself. It's the same way you can't regulate Bitcoin itself. So, and I recommend to all your listeners to not look to the government for advice on what is a good and what is not a good investment, because they do not have your interests at heart. So yeah, just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah.
The reason why there's a lot of, dragging of feet is that it's very hard to categorize this asset class because it's got properties similar to currencies where it's got a means of exchange. It's got similar properties to commodities such as gold and silver where there's store of value and so on. And then it's also got equity-like or asset-like properties where there's sometimes yield that can be generated off these investments, which are obviously got their own risks. So there's multiple categories in which this asset could sit in, but it at the same time, although it does touch on all of them, those potential categories, it's still its own beast. So that's why it's a bit hard for the government or any regulator to try to regulate this. But again, guys, do not look to your government for investment advice and approval on what is and what isn't a good investment. Bitcoin is money, and it's the most sovereign thing you can own in your investment portfolio, second to probably gold and silver. But still, the main point that I'm trying to make is that yes, there's a lot of risk involved, and there's a lot of volatility, but risk is a good thing. Volatility is a good thing, right? I don't want people to get concerned by it. You can't get, like Bitcoin, for example, in a 8-year period has gone up 150x in 8 years. Okay, you put $1,000 Aussie in, you're sitting on $150,000 right now. And even if you invested 2,000 Australian dollars a month into Bitcoin over 8 years, you'd have now close to 3.2 million Australian dollars. And that's just at $2,000 Aussie a month. So don't get concerned too much about the volatility. And I certainly wouldn't want to get too concerned about the government regulators, because although we as a business have to be concerned about it in terms of what regulatory requirements we need to make, what we need to meet, that's all on us, and we will meet them whenever the time comes for us to abide by any sort of regulatory framework that comes out. I welcome it, but at the same time, for most investors, BTC is a perfectly safe asset to invest in with no issues.
After the US election, we saw, I hope you enjoyed that particular clip from my conversation with the crypto guys at Stormrake. Again, I'm a big fan of crypto. I think that was a really interesting conversation we had in giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly with regards to the industry. But these guys can help hold your hand in the particular industry and show you some tactics, help you understand when to go, when to not go, and understand the fundamentals of the particular industry as well. If you want to open an account with them, click the link in my description, click the link in my bio, and you can get started today with no matter how much or how little you want to go in with. I'll see you guys later.